Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go.
We're here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday, the 23rd of December. The time is moving so quickly, man. It's kind of hard to keep track. But I'm here. I'm going to take care of you until 11 o'clock this morning. My name is Richie B, and we are here on Up and Go. Coming out of the United States of America, I don't know if you've heard it as yet, President Joe Biden has now made quite a declaration as he says, hey, I'm going to run for re-election for the next election if, he says, I'm in good health, and he believes fate would help him bring in the second term. Now remember that Biden is 79 years of age, and he made that statement yesterday while talking to ABC anchor David Muir, and he also went on to say that he would welcome a rematch with former President Donald Trump, who, by the way, has already declared that wants to run, and he's in his mid-70s. He's 75 years of age. So any way you take it, if either of these brothers go forward as the nominee for their respective parties, someone would be in the White House in their 80s. How does that prospect sound to you? Joe Biden said yesterday, if I'm in health, the health I'm in now, and I'm in good health, then in fact I would run again. I'm a great respecter of faith, though, and fate, sorry. He says he's a great respecter of fate, and fate has intervened in my life many, many times. He says he would welcome a rematch with Donald Trump. In fact, he feels that would increase the prospect of him running. So he's obviously looking forward to that shall we call it a battle? Because, you know, with Donald, it's always going to be a battle. He also addressed things like the Omicron variant, which is surging in the United States of America, and says that he regrets not having ordered these the tests the rapid tests that are now becoming available in the U.S. He regrets not having actually ordered them earlier. So take it from me and from Joe Biden. He has now made it clear that he intends to run for re-election in the United States of America. I saw where my friends from Reggaeville decided to do a survey, and they had the participation of 16 of their own Team Reggaeville, as well as about 35 guests from within the reggae industry. And they decided to start looking at potential candidates for Album of the Year. You remember we were talking about that just recently. You know, which artist do you think did very well? Song of the Year, DJ of the Year, Singer of the Year, Album of the Year. Let me give you a quick look now at what came up from this survey between 35 industry players and some members of Team Reggaeville. They're actually saying that they have about 47 nominees, but we won't go through all of that. I'll highlight a few of those that are related to Jamaica. So Alba Rosie makes the cut with the album For the Culture in terms of in the running. There is, of course, Alkaline with Top Prize. There is Bugle with Toxicity. I see also that DeMarco is in there with Melody. Itana, she also has a Grammy nomination with Pamoja. Ginger is in the running with the Reggae Soul Man. Gramps Morgan is in there with Positive Vibration. He's also a Grammy nominee. Ayatera, we play Ayatera quite a bit here, with Ease and Grace makes the cut. Jazz Elise is also in there with, shall we call it a nomination for Album of the Year, with the Golden Hour. Jesse Royal with Royal is also there, and so is Joe Mercer Marley with Eternal. We continue to look down the line. Conscience with Red Rain for consideration. Massacre with 438. These are albums that are nominated among 47 vying for Album of the Year from our friends over there at Reggaeville. Conscience, as I mentioned, with Red Rain. Massacre with 438. Let's see, Pressure Bus Pipe. We also play Pressure quite a bit. Heights of Greatness, an album that I really like. Revolution makes it with In the Moment. Let's go a few more. Runkus with Inside is in the running. So is Sean Paul with Live and Livin'. Sizzler with On a High. Skilly Bang with, you know it, Crocodile Teeth. He's inside there too. Morning Skilly. And Spice with 10. Soja, who's also a Grammy nominee, with Beauty in the Silence. And we see also that Daddy U Roy, the late Daddy U Roy, with Solid Gold. And Vibes Cartel with Born for This, among 47 albums vying to become Album of the Year for 2021, courtesy of our friends at Reggaeville. What are your thoughts? Have you already decided on Album of the Year winners? Or even the Grammy winner, for instance?
Big water can boil cocaine.
All right. Big water. Big water can boil cocaine. Meaning the water that you beg, right? So begged water cannot boil the skin of a cow. That is what the English interpretation is. Now, you ready for the meaning? The meaning of that proverb, beg water can boil cocaine. Here's the meaning. You should not depend on the tools of others to do your own work. That is what that means. Beg water can boil cocaine. You should not depend on the tools of others to do your own work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very important guest that we'll be talking with. And she is from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. She is the Director of Family Health Services. And just before we introduce her, I just want to let you know that yesterday, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton shared that at a press conference that a traveler who visited Jamaica on a short-term stay at a resort and flew out thereafter has been confirmed to have had the Omicron variant of COVID-19. Minister Tufton appealed to Jamaicans not to panic, but to heighten their adherence to prevention protocols. We have with us this morning Dr. Melody Ennis, who is the Director of Family Health Services in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, to speak on this matter. Good morning and season's greetings, Dr. Ennis. How are you today?
I am well, thank you. Good morning. All the very best for the season. How are you?
I am doing well, and you know it's always a pleasure to have you on our program, Dr. Ennis. We're talking this morning primarily about further to the update from the minister yesterday in relation to a visitor who had the Omicron variant. What is the latest that you can tell us? Is it spreading any further to the best of your knowledge?
Well, we made the assumption that that passenger possibly contracted same here. She visited and then tested positive when she returned home. So we have not found any of our samples that we sent away positive for Omicron, but it stands to reason that she visited, she possibly contracted same here, and therefore tested positive on arrival home. Having said that, we would want to certainly believe that Omicron is here in country and circulating. Latest news on that variant says that it's highly transmissible. Not much is known else. It's very highly transmissible. It causes a mild-ish disease, but of course, persons with underlying conditions remain at risk. So if we have something that is spreading more or have the potential to spread more than Delta, then as we move into the rest of the week, into full festive season, then we've got to hold strain and go back to those measures. Masking properly over the nose and the mouth, hand sanitize, hand wash, physical distance. The physical distance is key because these viruses spread in close contact. That droplets on fomites, which are, areas, high touch areas. So we really have to be vigilant over the next couple of days.
Yeah. So you're saying then this morning that you have pretty much every reason to believe that the possibility exists that the Omicron variant might very well be in Jamaica. When will you know for sure, though? Results are coming in. Is it on a daily basis?
So results, remember, we send results abroad and they do come back in batches.
Yes.
So we are expecting a batch in short order. Can't be very definitive as to when it's coming back. But we did send to Atlanta, we sent to Brazil, and we sent to CARFA. So we should be returning some results and, of course, scrutinizing same to see if we pick up Omicron.
Dr. Ennis, what is the next move from the perspective of the Ministry of Health in terms of minimizing the exposure, of our Jamaicans to this variant?
It is, I continue to say, preaching. And this preaching requires everybody to be converted, not just the few. You know, when we looked at the press conference yesterday, Dr. Webster Carr highlighted that only about 20% of Jamaicans are abiding to restrictions of movement, a similar percentage abiding to wearing the masks and those IPC measures correctly. Now that leaves a significant proportion of Jamaicans that are not necessarily taking this whole COVID business seriously. And they've got to understand that we are all at risk and we are in this thing together and we are interdependent. Everything I do is not only about me. It impacts you and your family and other families and by extension, all of us. So the ministry really has to get that message out that we are at risk. We must follow those IPC measures and we must get vaccinated.
So do you think this is going to change how we celebrate Christmas?
I believe it should, because if we ever thought that the measures could be relaxed, then we need to take strain, really hold on now to say, no. We are visiting. We're going to be seeing our elderly relatives, and that's okay. But we're just asking you, keep the mask on. Keep the mask on. Do the elbow hug. Do the foot hug. But, keep the distance. And if you are going to be having a meal and removing your mask, do it outside. Let the air flow through, not in the enclosed spaces. So there are ways that we can celebrate and celebrate responsibly.
Let's look at the vaccination efforts of the government now. How is that coming along? What can you tell us?
Well, as you know, we started in March and we administered to date 1,194,954 doses of the vaccine. So if we have 3 million persons in country, then at about a third of persons have received a dose. But we want persons to be fully vaccinated, and that number is much less. We are just over the 500,000 mark, trying to get up to 600,000. So that carries us down to just over 20-something% of the country being fully vaccinated. So we need to up that number. And when we look at Omicron, what we're hearing about that variant is that you get added protection if you are, one, vaccinated, and even more protection if you receive your booster. Now, remember, we started, as I said, in March, so there are lots of persons who have passed that 6-month mark and should be coming out now to get their booster shot so that their protection can be maximized.
It seems, based on what you're saying, then, that a number of persons actually go forward. They take the first dose, but is there a situation where there's reluctance to go and get the second dose? You're finding that?
There is a little bit of hesitancy, and to put your finger on the pulse to say exactly what it is, you're not sure. When you speak to the persons, they say, boy, I can't bother. I have one in me already, and it's very on the fence. They're vacillating a lot, and there's no real reason because they did well. some persons didn't even have the mild side effects. But they're just in that can't bother mode.
I don't get it though, because really, if you've taken the decision to go forward and get it, you don't have any symptoms and so on, and you need 2 doses, then why not go forward and get the second one? I mean, you should be encouraged to do that, listeners, if you fall in that category. And as far as vaccination centers are concerned, will they be opened right through the season, or what can you tell us about that?
So we are opening right through the season. We encourage persons to go on our website, www.moh.gov.jm, and you'll see the listing of the sites. Now, there are a few sites that offered extended hours into 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Those sites will still be operational, but they will close early. So they'll do the 4 o'clock thing. So it will be earlier for those extended sites. But outside of that, persons can go on. They can call their nearest health center or the 8881 love number and find out exactly the sites that are open in their neighborhood.
Who are you targeting at this time for booster shots?
Everybody. So it's all persons over the age of 18 that received a dose 6 months or more of AstraZeneca or Pfizer. Now, for us, we don't have a lot of 6 months Pfizers here because we just started in August. But we do have persons who received it abroad, and they are at their 6 months, so they can come out. For Johnson & Johnson now, we are targeting persons who received their first shot. We started in September. And 2 months after, so we are well into persons for Johnson & Johnson. 2 months or more after, they need to come out for their second shot of Johnson & Johnson.
Do we have a lot of vaccines that will be having an expiry date soon? Can you address that?
We have 13,700 doses that will expire on the 31st of this month. So we have a couple of days, and it's not a lot.
Yeah.
It's not a lot.
Okay. Dr. Ennis, it's always a pleasure talking with you. I thank you for all the support you've given to this program, this station, for the past several months of our existence. I'd like to wish you and your family, all the team members at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and all the best to you.
Thank you so much on behalf of my colleagues at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. It has been a pleasure working with you and your station, and I too wish you all the best. The very same to your listeners.
Thank you, Dr. Ennis. A chat there, ladies and gentlemen, with our very special guest, Dr. Melody Ennis, the Director of Family Health Services in the Ministry of Health and Wellness. DJ, you remember recently we were talking about Barbados, and we shared with you the fact that they were being granted a tax-free holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at what Guyana is doing now. Guyana, through their president, Dr. Irfan Ali, he announced yesterday a 1-month tax-free salary for all members of the joint services. That's happening in Guyana.
We have any flights out to
Well.
that side? You know ready?
Yeah, but I'm not generating a salary over there yet. I've only been there once, and that was many years ago. I don't think they're doing it on a retroactive basis. Moreover, I'm not a member of their joint security services. This actually relates to the Guyana Defense Force and the Guyana Police Force, as well as the Guyana Prison Service and the Guyana Fire Service. They're being granted tax-free salary, 1 month tax-free salary, courtesy of the government of Guyana. Lots of Caribbean countries. I'm being politically correct now when I say it seems lots of Caribbean countries are trying to do stuff for their nationals.
Don't say it.
And I get the feeling that there might be more announcements coming. I'm being very positive from other Caribbean nations as well and their leaders. Just by the way, we're also in the Caribbean here in Jamaica. Let's clean out these ears and see if we have anything coming anytime soon. I see some comments coming out from Frankie Campbell in relation to the 90 million allocation that the government has put forward for the entertainment sector, where each individual can claim in a grant $60,000. And Frankie Campbell of Fab 5 is saying $90 million is what some of us would earn for a year. He says you're talking about artists who earn $20,000 US sometimes. So when you give somebody $60,000, yes, we're happy for the help, but just imagine, according to Frankie Campbell, how fast $60,000 is going to go, especially when you already owe rent and water and light and school fee and whatever else. So it's really, according to Frankie Campbell, just a drop in the bucket. Yesterday we had Howard Big Mac McIntosh on the program telling us how you can access that $60,000. And first off, you must go to the Ministry of Entertainment's website and register. You must be a part of an association. You must have a bank account. And once you're a player in the industry, you can get this $60,000. But not everybody is responding well to it, because some feel that it is really just a drop in the bucket. Well, we hope that the ministry or the minister and her affiliates are looking at maybe using this as just a starting point, and we'll continue maybe another couple of months from now, early in the new year, looking at another injection of a similar amount maybe. Let us hope so, for the sake of our the members of our entertainment fraternity, many of whom have been without any earning power over the last year or so. We're going to be having a very special guest at this time. He is the director of the SOS Children's Village, and it is often said of him that he's a man on a mission, a highly driven and motivated education change agent, a leader. He has been described as an innovator and a forward thinker in the field of education and management. And like we mentioned, the director of the SOS Children's Village. Joining us this morning is none other than Mr. Jason Brown. Morning, Jason.
Good morning, morning.
Season's greetings to you. How are you doing today?
I am not bad. Happy holidays as well. I am giving thanks. How are you doing this morning?
Not too bad at all, Jason. Thank you so much for those good wishes, man. Let me ask you, you have been described as a man on a mission. What is your mission, Jason Brown?
That's a good question. You know, my mission is really to help children and youth make it through life. I believe that there's so much potential, there's so much untapped potential. And so little persons sharing experience and just knowledge on how to navigate life in the best way to yield the best results. Mm-hmm. My purpose is really to help them as they make their journey through life by giving my insights, my tips, using my network, just trying to uplift them.
Fantastic. Before you became the director of the SOS Children's Village, we understand that there were a number of initiatives that you spearheaded, especially for the children and the youth of our country. Can you just highlight some of those?
Well, I was very integral in robotics. While working at Jamaica College, I worked with the robotics team. We competed internationally. And from that, we were able to sign a deal with the first organization to host our own qualifiers here in Jamaica. So now in Jamaica we compete. We have high schools competing here, and from there we go to the World Championships in Detroit. I've also done multiple community drives in collaboration with my counselor here, Tasha Schwab in Stony Hill. Back to school treats, vacation Bible schools, Easter treats, Christmas treats. We have done career seminars, mental health seminars. I have launched what I call Secure the Job, JA, because a little insight, before working at SOS in June, I was unemployed for 7 months.
Really?
It was a very tough time for me. I found it very hard to navigate. And in having a network help me to, find jobs, I decided to tap into the corporate networks to see how best we can provide the space for young persons leaving university, persons who are unemployed, persons laid off because of the pandemic, to find footing in a job. And so we have done seminars on resume writing, interview tips, what not to do, how to dress for an interview, and also hosted a virtual job fair with Digicel, with Sagicor, with Talent Box Caribbean to give persons jobs. Yes.
Remarkable stuff, Jason. Why did you choose the field of education? I have to ask you that.
Did I really choose it though?
He chose you?
When I was younger, in my family, I have lots of teachers. My aunt, Auntie Janet, Uncle Mark, they are amazing teachers, and they inspired me in that way. So from I was younger, I wanted to be a teacher. But, in the classroom, everybody wants to be a pilot, a doctor, a lawyer. So why would I say a teacher? So I decided, okay, I want to be an obstetrician.
Okay.
So I pursued that in high school, did my subject, got it. After lower six, I felt conflicted, and I applied for, I loved IT. So I applied for BSc in IT at UA, and I got through for a BEd, which was kind of weird. So I said, all right, let me try it. Went to the first class in August, fell in love, and since then, education has been it.
And as they say, the rest is history. Now,
yes.
I want us to focus now a little bit more on the SOS Children's Village and the kinds of services that this organization provides. Help us along that line.
All right, so the SOS Children's Village is a private children's home in Jamaica. We work in partnership with the government. And the idea is, how it came about is, our founder Herman Minor, after World War II, the family structure was diminished. So he found that many families lost their dads, the children were separated. So he decided to create homes for children to reintegrate that family structure, to have them feel the essence of a family. So here in Jamaica, that's what we offer. It's kind of a little bit different from the other children's home because we actually have family homes. And from their point of entry, we help them to transition into adulthood. So we try to have them get a proper education. We try to help them with life skills. Simple things like opening a bank account, how to shop, how to buy, grocery and appliances. And then we help them after their tertiary education or skills to find, a nice place to live, a job, and from there they go out in society to try and be great. So we offer, remedial services because we have a lot of children who have mental issues. We do tutoring, schooling, and just the overall housing. So just like how you have a natural family house with the mom, the dad, the children, that is what the SOS Children's Village tries to provide for our kids who are removed for different reasons from their family houses.
Okay. I imagine that an organization like this, which is so heavy on giving back, might have some needs. Do you care to highlight any such need that you might have, and how can persons assist the organization?
I would love to. So right off the bat, if you go to sos-jamaica.org on the internet, you will see ways in which you can donate. Our needs are pretty much the same things. So educational support in terms of devices, toiletries because they're in their family houses, food items, clothing, things like fitted sheets, pillows. I'm seeking to uplift the atmosphere of the village. So one of my needs right now is for paint, to paint the family houses, to have the village a little bit more vibrant. Things like self-care for feminine products and also male grooming products. So I am open to all of the above, just like the regular family houses, groceries, toiletries, educational support. Because all my kids are going to school online. All of them. As you can know, the resources are a little bit stretched.
Yeah,
so everything along those lines. You can contact me on Instagram. It is TheJCDB. That's THEJCDB. You can email me at jason.brown@sos-jamaica.org. And I said before, you can visit our website, and there's an option there for you to sponsor a child or the protocol on how to make donations.
Okay. We certainly hope that you get some more support, which you definitely need going forward. About how many children do you have there presently?
Right now in my program, I have 55 children.
55?
55.
Yeah, so the needs are definitely great, and I want to thank you for highlighting the situation there, and commendations to you and the team that are doing all of this wonderful work on behalf of our kids in this nation, especially those who are challenged one way or another. And I want to wish you and your family all the best for the season. Happy New Year when it comes, and keep on keeping on, Jason Brown. Proud of you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and all the best to you and your team as well. Stay safe, everyone.
All right. That was Jason Brown, director of the SOS Children's Village, a very special guest in this segment. So our friend is over in Africa, in Ghana. You know who I'm talking, right? Zagazao, anyhow, Zagazao. And you know he's been talking up a lot of stuff. Some of them fairly controversial, as we mentioned before, where he talked about who he feels should be the prince of the dance hall and nominated Stoneboy. Not everybody found it as funny as you did. But he also did something which I think I want to highlight. We're talking about the Dr. Beenie Man, himself regarded by some as the king of the dance hall. There was a feud going on in Africa between two of the leading lights in terms of reggae and dancehall. One being Stoneboy and the other being Samini. And they were friends before. And then something happened. One interview was done and something was said, and the other took offense to it. And so they were at loggerheads and they had their own crews, and they were just not dealing or anything like that. Well, it turns out on the BIM show that Beenie Man was on with Stoneboy a couple of days ago, that in fact he brought these two rivals together in his set. Yep. And for that, he's in the news in a big way, because that is like, when Beenie himself and Bounty were at Loggerheads, if somebody was performing and they brought the two of them together, you can imagine the impact that would have. Or even say when a Vibes Cartel and Mavado were at Loggerheads, if somebody had come together and brought them together on stage, you can imagine at the height of their quote-unquote war, you can imagine the impact that would have. So Beenie Man came out looking really good and powerful in this African country over there in Ghana for having achieved that feat of bringing Stoneboy and Samini during his set on stage. That's quite a remarkable achievement for the doctor. Commendations to him. He's also saying a lot of stuff as usual. Zagazao, you know how he does his thing. He was on another radio station, and we understand that he made comments to the effect that there's only one king of the dance hall. And he says, look at what I did. I gave Cartel his first, Vibes Cartel, his first Billboard hit. After the altercation between Cartel and Ninja Man at Sting, he says he was the one that took Cartel in the studio and voiced this song with himself and The Angel. You remember that song, right? And according to him, I gave him the hit. I introduced him to hits, and so there can only be one king of the dance hall. So I just thought I'd mention both stories. Take what you want from them. Beenie Man is definitely on the up and up. By the way, congratulations to him also. It's like a Beenie Man segment we're in for. He just was seen recently driving a brand spanking new Mercedes, high value, top end vehicle. And for that we say commendations. But shortly thereafter, one of his baby mothers came out and said, hey, I ain't got no child support for quite a while. I think the curve when it comes to Beenie Man is up and down and up. Up and we're telling all of this to you on Up and Go. Let's get to it on the show. Yeah, boy. You buy a Benz and you owe me some money for the youth? What's up with that is what has been saying. I ain't calling no names here. It is what it is. He's in public life. He'll address that, I'm sure, as we go along. We have a guest at this time, ladies and gentlemen, and he was actually a competitor in the Magnum event, series of events in television some time ago, and It was the Magnum Top Performer competition, right? And he was registered at birth. I think it's pronounced Saja Smith, but most persons know him as Prince Saj. And he had some godly lyrics that he was blazing in that competition, which surprised many people at the time. I want to talk to this young man this morning and see what's up with him. Good morning and welcome, Prince Saj. How are you doing? Season's greetings.
Pleasant good morning to you, and a pleasant good morning to everyone out there. Season greetings, man.
How does the season find you at this time?
Finding very, very good indeed, you know.
I hear you laugh when I asked. Sounds like a lot of good things are happening for you, Prince Saj, and that is what we want to talk about. Let's start with what's good about the season for you.
Well, most definitely, you know, what's good is that I have God, you know, and it's about spreading the gospel right now of Christ, you know, and I have life right now. I'm approaching into a new year, and it feels good to be here right now. Many are not here, but I am here, and I'm here for a reason, you know, and approaching the new year, everything seems fun-filled and joyous right now for me, so it's a great feeling, and I can't complain.
All right. Are you a little concerned that Christmas has just become so commercialized, and as some people say, they seem to have taken the Christ out of Christmas? Is that a concern of yours?
No, it's not a concern for me. You know. To be honest, for me, I'm going to be honest. I, for one, don't celebrate Christmas, you know, to be honest. Like, as in people would say, Christ was born on this day. For me, I'm not sure as to when Christ was born, so I'm not going to pick a day and say this is the day. But I respect other person's decision if they are celebrating, you know, and other persons should respect my decision as well. So I have no idea as when my Savior was born. I just know that He's my Savior, and I will leave it as it is. And God alone knows when He was born, or, you know, all of those things. So I'm not going to say that Christ was born on this day and I'm going to celebrate this day for His birth or not. You know, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, got you. I want you to take me back to your entry into the Magnum Top Performer competition, which many persons would have seen as something that belongs to the secular world. And you, as a man who is into the gospel side of our music, decided to enter. First of all, what was the reaction of your church members and your family to that decision of yours to enter?
Many of the church members, you know, they weren't on board with it. They were saying they are not voting for me because, you know, Magnum is a whirly and drink and so on and so forth. But my family, I am impressed. You know, my family, I didn't know that they would come out and support me as they did, and they really came on board and they really pushed and they supported me to the fullest, and I am so grateful because I did not expect the support from that side. You know, the church members, as I said, there was a lot of contention. You know, there were many things being said, some things that led me to feel discouraged, but I had something in my mind. You know, the church has become a place where a lot of things has been going on, where imagine you are sick and when you go to the doctor, you can't tell the doctor what's wrong with you. You know, you go to church these days and you find that you tell persons at church your problems, and they are the same ones that turn around and talk behind your back, and they just want to sit in the church and be there. No one wants to go out and step out into the world, into the places, and to the persons that really needs the gospel. You know, Christ, when He was here on earth, He was, you couldn't find Him really in a temple, in a church. He was always out there in the streets, walking the land from place to place, going to spread the gospel. And that's what Prince Saj is all about, living a Christ-like life. Not saying that I don't make mistakes, but I am trying and improving with every day, every step. And that is why that pushed me to enter this Magnum Top Performer competition so that I can reach out to the younger generation of persons that really needs to hear the gospel right now.
Yeah. What people will remember, though, is that even when you had about 15 or so contestants in that competition, man, you were using Bible lyrics and gospel lyrics and giving them a run a run for their money. Overall, what is the experience like for you?
Yes, it's a learning experience. You know, it really shows that children of the Most High God just the same. You know, we as not even just children of the Most High God, we all are children, but just Christians overall. We have the gifts of God and we can use it right now. All the gifts, all the good things are from God, and anyone can use their gift to glorify God and still, you know, use it in an effective way and still show even their lyrical capabilities. And it's just a great feeling for me right now, I'm telling you, because a lot of persons who are doing, you know, secular music out there and stuff, they are coming to me saying that, hey, you really show me a different way how to do this. And I've been wanting to walk with the King for a long time, and now I've seen you do it. So it has encouraged me to want to do the same. And I feel so good to know that God can use me to help persons to find Him, you know, and draw nearer to Him. So it's a learning experience and it's a wonderful feeling for me.
And you got a lot of exposure in that competition. What are you doing now as you go into 2022, building on that exposure? What are the plans?
Well, a few things that are lined up. I'm not sure as to everything that is lined up, but a few things that are lined up now. You know, God has worked it out that I'll be working with Romish Entertainment. You know, I will be working on a song with him. There are many songs that are about to be released in 2022. You know, a lot of stuff mostly is planned, and I got a lot of recognition. A lot of doors were opened from this competition going into 2022. It is looking very much, you know, as I would say, it is looking great going into 2022. And I'm saying that with a smile on my face. Even though I was the runner-up, I'm saying that I feel so glad, and it went as how it should have went. And I'm very elated right now.
Fantastic. Congratulations on that achievement. You know, we don't have any of your material as yet, but I'd love to hear something from Prince Saj this morning. So maybe you can give us a verse and a chorus a cappella of something that you'd like to leave with our listeners here on the bridge this morning. What comes to mind? And if you can give us a few lines, we'd appreciate that, you know, Prince Saj. You ready?
Yes, man.
Take it away, son.
I'm ready, you know. And me I say, listen to me, you know, viewers. When me say, give me the rhythm, yeah. No, me thump it up and show them how we do it. None of them no bad the Father God alone I run the street. I could telescope no read the Bible verse up and repeat and lyrically me tally up and me never take defeat. Them never know. Say, yeah man, of God I run and take the show. Me have my Bible, me take it, speed it up and change the flow. Have the Psalm, them me happy, feel let it go and make you know you better lift up and repent before you make it down below. Bible verse when me load up and you know the plan me focus and to make it a heaven and meet the only one. So they not do this so different. Me are the only one, chosen one. Jesus never wrong. So unallow the man. When me say, me ready, say let it go up on yourself. If you make you listen to the gospel of the Lord, me a send me lift it up in no heavy and to the top me a make it and verbally me drop it like a bomb. You better be steady. Yes, man.
Back up!
Jesus.
Back up! Back up! All right, Prince Saj, thank you so much for that, man. We enjoyed it and we enjoyed talking with you. I want to wish you all the best going forward and stay strong. Best wishes to yourself and to your family for the rest of this year and on into next year. May your career continue to shine. Big up yourself, youth. See? Hood Celebrity, ladies and gentlemen. She had a song which was quite big. You remember that song that she had some time ago? And there was even a lawsuit that came out as well, where persons thought that she used the melodies and so on from another song. Well, she has been busy in the New York City area. She has made a number of surprise pop-ups at prep schools and middle schools. in the New York City area and has been providing a lot of support to youngsters. She says, I saw it necessary to conduct a series of performances because I feel like kids need to see the future. They need to see these things in their faces and understand that it's a light at the end of the tunnel, and this could be them as well. Because once upon a time, I was right where they are. And so she has done a series of performances at schools within the tri-state area where we do have a lot of listeners. And it's basically a tour to encourage youth to, basically to aim for the stars. So we say big ups to Hood Celebrity.
Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.